Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And The Marvels is going to stink it up at the box office. It's going to be pretty bad, actually. And now The Hollywood Reporter is simply blaming superhero fatigue.
Right, that's why. There's some fatigue going on, but it's not, I mean, superhero fatigue, yes. I think it's agenda fatigue, bullshit fatigue. You have to make it all like girl power fatigue.
Girl power fatigue, yeah. Basically,
Marvel fatigue.
Marvel fatigue. The MCU people are tired of it.
They're not just MCU. They're tired of DCU too.
They've been tired of the DCU. It's just like, I mean, when you can't even get people to go to the theater to see Michael Keaton as Batman again, you've really screwed up. You've done effed up. So we'll talk about this because yeah, it's not looking good for the Marvels. But again, they have to have an excuse. Oh, it's okay if the movies, it's not because the movie's subpar. It's not because people hate Brie Larson or don't know who these other characters are or don't really care. It's just superhero fatigue. And, The Flash, he's a big name. That was a big movie. I had Michael Keaton in it, and people still didn't go see it. So it's not her fault. It's not their fault. It's just people are done with superheroes. Let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
Go out to shopclownfish.com. We are taking pre-orders for Shadowbinders Volume 3. This is a hardcover graphic novel new from Clownfish Comics, the first Shadowbinders content in like 10 years. And Geeky's very excited.
I am.
We're going to do this. And if you missed 1 and 2, we have some more of those as well.
But they're limited.
Very limited, yes. So anyway, let's talk about this because we've been kind of following the box office trajectory for the Marvels, and it's pretty bad. They said that they're saying 70 to 80 million domestic, which is less than half of what the original Captain Marvel did, but they're saying total this thing is going to make probably under $200 million.
Domestically.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to do much better overseas.
I think 300 is pushing it.
And then here's the kicker. Again, like we've mentioned before, they're getting the release with very little competition.
Yeah.
They're getting the IMAX slot they wouldn't have gotten before because Dune 2 pulled to next year. And then they're getting a release in China. And they're still not expected to do that great. And that's with like all these, advantages that they wouldn't have had before. And they're still expecting it to do crap because nobody cared.
Now, this is actually higher than what we've been hearing. We've heard it could do like $50-60 million opening weekend. Some of the box office trackers, they're saying 70 to 80. What is this one? NRG is a research firm. It says 72 to 88 million, and the Quorum thinks closer to 70 million.
Taylor Swift did better than that.
Yeah, that's interesting. So here's the thing. I remember when The Flash was going to defy all expectations. The Flash was going to do $100 million. And it's basically, I think, a psych out. I think they're trying to, I do believe this thing is going to come in low, but I think it might actually be lower because I can't think of a single person who has any interest in seeing this movie.
I don't know anybody. I think people are going to go just to dunk on it or for morbid curiosity.
Morbid curiosity, yeah.
How bad can it actually be, kind of thing?
Well, I was like Quantumania. Like there were stories going around that they thought Ant-Man 3 was a slam dunk. They thought this was going to be close to $1 billion movie because it leads into Secret Wars, and it was a dud. But
it also wasn't very good.
No, it was not.
I don't think people have much. Okay, what's the sadder thing here is it's a 3 female hero led film, and the bigger takeaway to me is people don't have confidence in it. Like, they don't care to see it because they all know it's probably going to suck. Because, frankly, we've been trained that if it's like, especially when Marvel, we're leading with this, it's going to be agenda-driven bullshit.
Yeah.
It might not be, but that's what people are expecting.
I have to double-check this, but it said that the last title from Marvel Studios that didn't open to 70 million or more was Ant-Man in 2015. And nobody knew who Ant-Man was.
And then you have to figure inflation and stuff, too.
Inflation, yeah. The majority of MCU movies, or 25 of them, have opened to at least 100 million domestically, with 8 coming in at 150 million or higher. This one's not going to do anywhere near that. They said
it's not because of the pandemic.
No. They're like, because of the ongoing actors strike.
Bullshit.
And the accompanying prohibition on talent doing any promotion.
That would benefit it. If you don't have Brie Larson out there shooting her fucking mouth off and making digs at people, that probably would give you more audience possibilities. Actually, her not being in the promotion is probably helpful.
Yeah, I would agree with that because that actually hurt Captain Marvel last time. Yeah, it made $1 billion supposedly.
Sure it did.
Sure it did. Sure, Jan. Busting people in to go see it, and they made it out like it was a freaking event. Like, oh, this is basically just like the Black Panther, just with a woman. This is the Black Panther with a vagina, and now she has a vagina because it's a woman. But anyway,
what?
They have Shuri's the Black Panther now, right?
Isn't that Shuri? Yes. Yeah, sorry, I was very confused. I get it now. Okay.
Anyway, it's not going to do well. It's not going to do well. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 only debuted to 106 million, which is pretty bad. Like, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 should have been higher than that. But I think it's like even the good MCU movies or the quasi-good MCU movies are getting dragged down by the shit.
So I do think superhero fatigue definitely plays into it. I truly do. Because people are just tired of it. Like, they can't. I think the pandemic also, when you learned you didn't have to go to every movie, it made it easier to walk away. But I think they're overflooding the market with too much subpar shit on the streaming ends. The films are not that good lately, and there's too many of them. And then no one gives a shit about these characters. You got a bunch of new characters. The ones that have characters people knew and loved are still holding their own. But you got all these characters you're trying to introduce that nobody cares about, or people are mad about because it's some race-bent, gender-swap version of something. And they're not doing well. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. It's not misogyny. It's not sexism. It's not racism. It's just people just don't give a shit.
Yeah, so I gotta wonder what the excuses are gonna be.
I just gave them to you.
Yeah.
Misogyny, sexism, racism.
The bigots.
Brand fatigue.
The bigots are angry.
Women are really, superhero movies are really popular with women. There's so many new female superhero comics fans. We need to make sure we support them. Will be one narrative. When it doesn't do well, it's because all the men didn't come out to support the women. Well, aren't there a ton of female superhero comic fans now? Where are they? Oh, that's right. They didn't want to watch this shit either.
It's the alt-right Nazis. The alt-right Nazis on YouTube told people not to watch the Marvels. Actually, until the last week or so, I forgot the Marvels even existed. I forgot all about it. This thing has been pushed back so many times, and I have such a palpable lack of excitement that I think I just kind of filed it in the mental waste bin. I was like, oh yeah, there's another Marvel, Ms. Marvel coming, Captain Marvel. Yeah, who cares? Who cares? Nobody cares. And apparently Disney doesn't even really care that much either. I think at this point, I honestly God think Disney's just kind of sitting back and they're like, yep, just let them fail. There's talk that after Daredevil, they're going to like take a good hard look at everything they're doing with the MCU and be like, yep, we're not doing it this way anymore. This doesn't work. I think they know this one's going to be a freaking dud. They're going to get asked questions about the state of Marvel and Star Wars, I'm sure, at the shareholder meeting and how they answer. Brand fatigue, superhero fatigue. We need to rest it. We need to really rethink a brand synergy and the blah, 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 blah. Yeah. This is it, man. This is how the MCU dies right here. This is it. This is the end game. So we're going to wrap it up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.